The City of Johannesburg, which has in recent years experienced political instability, now has a municipal manager, acting manager. The city appointed its COO Tshepo Makola to act in the position after the Gauteng High Court gave the previous manager, Floyd Brink, 10 days to vacate his office. This position is critical for the overseeing the city's 83 billion rand annual budget and ensuring effective governance amidst ongoing leadership challenges. I'm now joined by Masilo Tsirikele, ANC Greater Gauteng. In fact, ANC Greater Johannesburg spokesperson, I beg your pardon. Masila, appreciate your time. Now, how has the leadership vacuum in Johannesburg affected service delivery over the last 12 months?
Greetings to your viewers and compliments of the new season to you and your viewers at home. Leadership plays a critical role in executing its mandate in terms of providing service delivery to the residents of Johannesburg. And you will know that in Johannesburg, we've been characterized by core challenges that have been aimed at the highest ranked official of the city. In this instance, the city manager, who was Floyd Brink. And in the past 12 months, we had two court judgments. Obviously, to a larger extent, it have then destabilized the running of the municipality. But we have came to a conclusion that we cannot prolong the court challenges. I think the executive have taken a decision not to challenge the recent court judgment that you have alluded to, that Floyd Brink should vacate office in 10 days. And then we have opted to then stabilize leadership, and we've appointed Tshepo Makola as the acting city manager. And we will then move swiftly in re-advertising the position of the city manager in an effort to stabilize leadership at the highest level in the city.
Now, you talk about stability. Tshepo Makola is in office, albeit for a period of 3 months. Just how much stability and how much can he do in that time?
Now, look, obviously there isn't much you can do in 3 months, but given that his track record and given that he's the second highest ranked official, it will then, the transition will be swift. He's not somebody who's have to learn into that role. He has been in the position, and some of the delegated powers of the city manager were delegated into his office. We believe that he will be able then to steer the ship and run with it without many difficulties, given that he is in the space, given that he is one of the most seasoned administrators that we are having in the city. His track record speaks for himself. But 3 months, there's not much that you can turn around a big metro like City of Johannesburg. Hence, the leadership of the city, together with ourselves as a political management committee, or the political management committee of the GNU, we've taken a decision that within 3 months, we should go to the market and find a permanent city manager that will be able then to stabilize the finances, stabilize service delivery, and also bring investor and business confidence into our city.
Well, part of your solution, I suppose, would lie in the appointment of Tshepo Makola as the city manager. Is he going to be able to throw his name in the hat?
Look, as a seasoned administrator, one would like him to throw his name to the hat. But we are going to an open market. And we will not want to predetermine that particular process. In fact, we're in trouble because some of the procedural things, we didn't follow them, and I don't want to find myself in the wrong side of it. To be honest with you, if you ask me at a personal level, yeah, I would like him to throw his name into the hat so that when we then arrive at the conclusion who is the best candidate, we've taken the best out of in the country. Given that the city of Johannesburg is the biggest metro in this country, and is one of the most influential economic hubs of this country, we should look at one of the best individuals that must be able then to catapult the city out of its challenges that we're having. And we know we're having serious challenges, and we need to turn around the situation in Johannesburg as a matter of yesterday. But to answer your question, I would love him to throw his name into the hat, but that is an individual question. Question that must be then thrown into Tshepo. From our side, we would love to have him, so that at least when we arrive at that conclusion, we arrive at the best possible candidate.
So let's talk about the next 3 months. What are the priorities for the acting city manager? I mean, what's on his desk right now that he needs to deal with?
Look, we are running a program of revitalization and rejuvenation of the city. And that becomes the key priority. And the revitalization and rejuvenation of the city speaks to stabilizing or eradicating crime in the inner city, taking over the hijacked building in the inner city, and also creating, not only just to take the hijacked building, but to create a sustainable housing project in the inner city, student accommodation in the inner city, as part of the mega projects of the revitalization of the inner city, including environmental upgrades. And this plays a critical role in terms of accelerated service delivery. But this is an effort to turn around things in the inner city. We need to, as a matter of urgency, we need to turn around the issue. Look, the inner city is crime-ridden. The inner city is not safe for business. The inner city is losing a lot of big tenants because of these challenges that we are having. And we must address this as soon as possible, or else, look, we will lose the inner city. Like as I've indicated, in the past 5 years, we've lost big clients or big tenants who are the biggest ratepayers in the inner city. And that becomes one of the key priorities that the city manager must be able then to do, because this is the program and one of the priorities of the mayor. And we believe that the city manager must be able and then to complement the leadership vision that is being then demonstrated by the mayor. In particularly, that becomes the key focus. There are many priorities, but I think in the 3 months, because we don't have time, this is one of the efforts that you must be able to make sure that we don't lose track of that particular priority.
Masila, I want to touch a little bit on the issue around crime, because it's one of those things that President Cyril Ramaphosa talked about in that January 8th statement that he made in Kailicha yesterday. What sort of angles, or what is your strategy in dealing with crime? Because it's one of those evils, if you will, that's taken over most of South Africa. How do you intend to deal with it for the inner city?
Look, yes, I agree with you. The biggest thorn, the issue of crime in the country, and more especially in Johannesburg. Look, one of the few things that we should be able to do is to make sure that we must increase police visibility. That's the first one. Enforce the bylaws. And also, as part of the effort in complementing the work of the president and making sure that most illegal operations are closed down, and we must have registered operations, including informal spaza shops that have been creating problems for us in Johannesburg. But the biggest issue, we must be able to make sure that we then, as we arrest, we must have successful prosecution. Because there's one point of arresting 500 people one weekend, and then the following day those people are out. We need to have a successful prosecution, strengthening our prosecution unit, by strengthening our investigation, but also making sure that we are there. Look, if you check across the country, we are in Cape Town now as the ANC for our celebration, for our 113th celebration. And the difference you will see is enforcement of bylaws in this city compared to our city. And look, you have people who just sell things like hawkers everywhere. You need to have a dedicated area of people that must be able to perform certain things in the inner city. You should have a flea market dedicated area where we know that when you need this, you need arts, you need food, you go to a food court dedicated area. You need to then but in the inner city currently, everyone else just do as they please. Me and you tomorrow can just wake up, go and open an open saloon there in a park, in Joburg Park, and nothing will happen to you. And these are some of the small things that build up to a bigger problem, to a crime issue in the inner city. But we are saying by law enforcement should be a key issue. Arrest, and over and above that, successful prosecution should be an issue. Also, police visibility should be another issue. But all spheres of government need to work together to be able to deal with the scourge of crime.
Masilo Serukele, ANC Greater Johannesburg spokesperson, speaking to us on the appointment of albeit short term, of a Johannesburg city manager. Appreciate your time.